Mulligans and Hackers Golf podcast episode 7. I'm Chris, and I've got Alvin over here sitting by the fire, and it's been about a month since we've seen you guys. So, how's everybody been? Well, Alvin, how have you been?
Pretty bad.
How come?
Golf-wise, anyways. Played really bad the last month and a half.
You've kind of been stuck in a little bit of a rut, it seems like.
Yeah, I've really lost my swing, and I'm having a tough time finding it. It has been a struggle and frustrating. The more I played, the more frustrated I got, which didn't help.
Yeah, it's very unlike you. I see, we've played a lot of practice rounds in between our tour events, and I don't know how many times you kind of cut her short there at the turn, and just didn't have it in you to finish out the day.
Yeah, frustrated to the point of I'm good. I can go home. I think one day I left after 7.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. You just, you had a couple bad holes and you just weren't feeling it. So you took off after, I think we were on the 8th tee box.
And I think the day before that, we played 9 in the morning. I left after 9.
Yep.
And you were still playing later on in the day, and I came and joined you on a back 9.
Yeah, because Josh and I have started playing. We've been trying to play 36 a day the last couple weeks when we've been able to, just to kind of get some extra golf in. I'm really trying to hit that 100 round mark, which I am at, I think, 97 and a half rounds now.
Yeah, you'll get that
so I should get there.
I think I'm 60 plus.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
I broke the 60 mark, so 60 plus rounds.
Can't go wrong with that.
But yeah, it's been a rough month. It really has been a rough month.
Anything in particular, or you just been fighting everything?
Fighting everything. Off the tee box, approach shots, short game, and putting. All of it just seemed to...
Not often you lose everything at once, but it's like somebody sucked the magic out of you.
No, I do believe it's totally and 100% mental. Standing over the ball on the tee box where my tee shots have been money all year.
Yeah, we call you Mr. Fairway for a reason.
I can't get off the tee box with any accuracy, distance. I call it the yips. I just, severe case of the yips, not only on the tee box, but even when I stand behind a shot on the fairway. I look down at the ball and I address the ball. And in my head, I go, I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea how to get the club face in the takeaway position and get it back to the ball. It's all in my head. Today, first 2 holes, same thing. First 2 holes, I butchered. Double, because we shotgun starts on 17.
Yep.
I double bogeyed 17. Then the 18th is a par 3, and I maxed that with a 6. And I'll be honest with you, I put my tee shot into the bush. And I had to take a drop, and I said it out loud that I was done. I'm going to go to the parking lot, and I'm going to head home. I think I'm done with this. I dropped, took my 6, and kept going. And the next 16 today, I had 7 pars in the next 16 holes, and it really started to come around today. And it felt really good. It felt like I had recaptured a little bit of what I've lost in the last month or so.
Any particular changes you made today?
No. Other than mental. Of just going, you know what, you know how to do this. You can do this. You've done it all year. Just get up and follow through. Make sure you finish high on your irons. And my tee shots were still okay, but not really fairway finding like I normally was. But my approach shots, I started to get some distance and some accuracy out of my approach shots. My putting saved me a couple of times with some over 10-foot putts to either save par or save a bogey. I really appreciated that out of the putter today. Yeah, I think since the last time we did a podcast, how many events have we had?
We've had 5 events since our last podcast, and today we finished our season out.
Yeah, can you imagine? Our season's over. Like the regular season's done today.
Yeah, we played our 20th event was today. It's hard to believe. Seems like we just started this venture, and here we are, coming into the middle of September with, that white stuff on the horizon coming into fall. It's kind of hard to believe. I mean, we have our inaugural tour championship coming up next weekend, which should be an absolute blast.
2-day tournament.
Yeah, a 2-day tournament. The first day we're going to play off the Blacks. And the second day we'll play off the Blues. Of course, it'll be at our home course of Cottonwood Coulee. First day will have to be a shotgun start because they're having their men's and ladies league wind-ups. So we have to all pick a hole and get on the course at 8:30. And then Sunday will be a little bit later. I think it's 9:30, 9:40, 9:50. I got the tee times. And we'll start with the guys that are furthest down the leaderboard. Will start first and pair up. and then up to the guys that are in contention who will play with each other down the stretch. So it's been an interesting last month in comparison to your game, which has kind of left you. I feel like I've never been playing better. I mean, the last time we talked on the podcast, I'd been having some back issues, which, you know, I don't know if I pulled a muscle or had a strain or something in there. But I dealt with it a little bit over the first couple weeks, and the last 2 to 3 weeks, I feel like my game has honestly hit another level. My approach shots are starting to get real dialed in. I've been playing some of the best golf of my life. I've been going back and forth between my Scotty and my Scotty Blade and my Maltby mallet, kind of trying to figure out which putter is going to get hot for me, and I think I'm going to stick with the mallet, even though I left a few 3-putts out there today in our round. I still felt pretty comfortable with it.
Since our last podcast, we've had 5 events.
5 events,
and
yeah.
Have you won 3 of them?
I won the final 3 events.
The final 3 events
of the tournament. The one right after the last podcast, I finished second to Darren by a stroke.
Right, and then we went to Cyprus after that, correct?
Correct. Yeah, so we went to Cyprus, which was a little different look. And I didn't have my best game out there, and I don't think you did either.
No, I shot 103.
Yeah, and you didn't play well that weekend either. And
again, that's part of not playing well in the last month.
Correct.
So
correct.
But, Darren and Chris McKeon tied first in Cyprus.
Correct. Yes, that's right. And then I think I tied Dave out there.
You did. You tied Dave out there as well.
Yeah, I tied Dave for second.
Plus 22 with 94s.
Yeah. So I mean,
it was really nice out there.
Beautiful. First time I'd been out there. Yeah. It was a different course because there was no water.
No water, no
sand. It was just trees and some weird ass spots. Like that one hole.
It definitely didn't reward you for a good tee shot.
No, and I mean,
still facing trees.
You're a guy who hits the fairway usually, and I mean on the one hole, what was it, 6 or something? There was like 4 or 5 trees directly in the middle of the fairway.
Yeah, I put my shot right in the middle of the fairway and had to look through 2 trees. To get to the green. Yeah.
And then the rest of us that just kind of pulled it out to the right. We had a great line at the green, so it was kind of weird. But yeah, no, that's a fun course. I'd like to get back out there next year and definitely play that course.
Cool. Yeah, and then we had a Cottonwood event after that, and that's where you started your run of 3 straight victories, right?
Yes. Yeah.
You shot a 78.
Yep.
So plus 12.
Yep.
McKeon came in second at plus 14.
Yeah, and he was actually right there. I think he was right on. He played in a different group, but he was right there all day. And what really was the difference in that tour date was I birdied 18 and he double bogeyed 18. Yeah, and that was the difference.
Yeah. Dave finished 3rd there. I finished 4th with a 90. Again, at a par 66 course is pretty poor.
Yep.
For some of the games I've had, because
You've broken 80 a few times.
I've broken double digits twice this year, plus 9, plus 5.
Yep.
But that was before my severe case of the yips here. And then after that, we had another one at Cottonwood. You finished first there as well with a plus 15.
Yes, that was yesterday.
That was yesterday.
Yeah, we went out. It was a little rainy. We had some guys drop out. Yeah. You weren't sure if you were going to play. We dragged you out later in the day.
But again, and we played from the Blacks yesterday.
Yes, we did. Try and prepare for the tournament.
Yeah, and I shot a 91. You finished first with a plus 15, 81. Clark finished plus 21 with an 87. And Darren finished plus 25 with a 91, and Josh finished plus 32, 98. So Josh has been breaking 100 regularly lately.
Yeah, and actually, last Monday, so just about a week ago, it was the long weekend. We'd been playing some golf. We played Friday night. We played 36 on Saturday. We played 18 on Sunday. And then Monday, we played 18 at Cottonwood and 18 in Bow Island. And in our morning round at Cottonwood, Josh broke 90 for the first time ever on any course. He shot an 88. And I mean,
congrats to him.
That's amazing because...
but again, he's played a lot of golf this summer.
He's played more golf than he's ever played in his life.
And he's actually improving.
Yeah, you can see it for sure. And I mean, especially, I've noticed the biggest improvement for him in his putting. He used to, get on the green and need 4 or 5 putt every time, right? And I mean, that's a quick way to add strokes up. But I mean, there's been times, because me and him tend to golf quite a lot together. There's been times where we'll be out golfing and we'll be like even after 4 or 5 holes, or it'll be right close, or he'll go on a run like he does every now and again, where he'll put in some bogeys and some pars and he'll put them together. And it's like, you can see it's there. He's just kind of got to round it into form. and it's really coming. His game is gotten better. He's gotten a new putter. He's got the Kirkland putter that he's really gotten used to now. He got the counterweight for the Super Stroke grip that came in yesterday, so he used that in today's round. And yeah, it's just been like, it's funny because I shot an 81 yesterday in the tour round. So then you guys went out at 3:00, and I had to run off and do some work real quick, and then we came back because it was so dead. And I'm like, well, let's play another 18. Well, I shot, I want to say I shot a 76. I went 38 and 38. I don't know what it was. I hit a lot more shots. I know yesterday on 9, I was my putter grip's length away from putting one in for a hole in one. On 18 in the tour round, I was like a foot to the right of the pin, perfect depth. And then today,
so we'll talk about today. So today, you've had the best round of any tour player of any tour event today.
I do believe so, yes.
So you finished with a 74 today, a +8.
Yeah, and I had 4 3-putts.
That's wild. So par 5.
Yeah, so we started on the 17th. We started on the 17th again, shotgun start. We usually start on the 17th because we typically have 2 groups. Yeah, it allows 2 groups there. So you guys went off first, you, Darren, and Clark, and myself, Josh, and Dave went together. So I started par on the par 4. I started par on the par 3 18th. Then I went fairway. I didn't hit a great tee shot, but I mean, it was out there okay. So then I got up with my pitching wedge, and I forgot to tell you this earlier in the day, but I almost holed out from 130 yards. I missed by 3 inches on the top of over top of the cup was where my divot was when I got up there, and it rolled out, and then I 3-putted for a 5. Huh. And then because the hole was kind of in a crappy ass spot.
Yeah, there's a couple of those today.
And then, anyways, as my round went along, it was good. I took a bogey on 2, 3 I parred. Actually, 3 I parred. 4 the short par 4 or par 3. I got up there with my 56, which I've been typically hitting. You know, for some reason, I'm just more comfortable now with my 56 in that 80 to 90 range. I hit just a nice, easy 56, ended up off the back in the bunker. So then I ended up taking 2 out of the bunker because it was so wet to get out. Took a double. So then we get on to 5. 5, I think I made par. 6 is the one with the dog leg right. Mm-hmm. Usually I get on my 3-wood and I try and go for it. And typically I'll either land on the deck or just above in the shit. So I either have a decent shot or a crappy shot. Well, today I happened to get the slice I needed. Ended up on the green. I was about 10, 11 feet from the pin. So I had an outside eagle chance. Missed it off to the left. And then I made my birdie. So that was nice. And then 7, I took my bogey, which I'm happy to get out of there because there's trouble on the left that I just don't want to take on anymore. And then 8, I've been developing this weird draw with my 3-wood the last week. So I'm like, and on 8, I've lost a couple balls that way because that's where the water is. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna kind of go center fairway. Sliced it just a little bit, so I lost it out to the right, and then I chunked a couple chips. I ended up taking a triple bogey for a 7, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like, seriously. 9, I think I parred. Yeah, I parred 9. 10, I sculled a chip, and I ended up bogey. So then we get to the par 5.
Just get to the par 5.
Yeah, we get to
I don't care about the rest of the round.
I know.
Let's get to the par 5.
We get to the par 5. Typically, I don't hit my driver because I haven't really been needing it these days. I've been hitting my 3-wood, so I kind of looked at my bag and I'm like, nah, I'm having a good round, whatever. I was like, you know, our other group is off on 16 or 15. So, I mean, usually when I miss on the par 5 with my driver, I go to the right and I end up on the fairway on 15. So I'm like, whatever, I'll just hit it. It's not like it's going to be any inconvenience. Well, I hammered it straight out there, straight down the fairway. And I was like, okay, that's good. So I get up to the ball on the fairway. Pins on the right side of the green today, which it hasn't been over
that's
there.
The lower tier, right?
Yeah, the lower tier area.
It's 2-tiered, and that's the lower tier.
And it's not usually over there lately. Like, typically it's been on the left side, on the higher tier. So I'm looking at it. I'm about 175 yards to center. And I was kind of thinking, I'm like, it's like I could take a 6 and put it a little long because it rolls back, might be okay. I'm like, if I flush a 7-iron, I might get it there. I'm like, well, all right, we'll try and flush the 7-iron. If I don't get it there, I don't get it there. It's a chip on, and I got a putt for birdie. Well, I flushed my 7-iron. I hit about a foot onto the green. You could see where the divot was. And Dave was sitting in his cart about 10, 12 feet off to the left with a view at the green because my view was kind of obstructed. And he's like getting out of his car and he's like, go in, go in. And I'm like, what is going on here? Well, I ended up hitting about a foot onto the green. It rolled up about 10 feet and rolled just to the left of the cup by about 3-4 inches. Rolled by and stopped about, I would say about a foot above the hole to give me an eagle opportunity. So once we got over there, it left me with a precarious putt because it was a downhill putt. And that green, as we know, is not friendly.
We all know, yeah.
So
tabletop.
I got up there.
I think we've talked about that green a number of times on this podcast.
Oh yeah, that's our most hated green, I think, on the entire course. So I got up there and I was kind of like, okay, it's just a straight putt. All you got to do is just touch the ball and it's going to get rolling. So I stood back there, kind of got on it, did my routine, hit the ball, center cup, nailed down my second eagle of the year.
Nice.
First one at Cottonwood this year for me, and it was good. And I mean that really set the tone.
On a tour day, if you can do something like birdie or eagle on that par 5, you've done something special.
Yeah, well, you're going to gain strokes on everybody, right?
I actually played that hole well today, and I bogeyed.
Yep. I mean, yesterday on the tour date, I was actually on in 2 again. I had a good chance.
I was there in 3 yesterday,
but I was on the wrong tier.
Right.
And my first putt, I didn't get it onto the next tier.
Yeah.
So then it left me. So then I ended up 4 putting for 6.
Right.
Which I mean was not whatever. I'll take.
But
it.
yeah, we've seen that numerous times. We've done it, and again, if you having an eagle on that hole is fabulous.
Yeah.
But if you can get off that hole with a bogey, start the car and run.
Yep. Yeah, it's my approach game lately has been absolutely ridiculous.
I personally can't stress how I've watched my game go to shit over the last month. All the while on the golf course watching your game 0 right in.
And it's been frustrating because when that happened, you had the lead in the points.
I did. So let's just finish up here. The regular season for our Mulligans and Hackers Tour ended today.
Yep.
So
20 events.
I had the lead in all categories going into the.
After the last podcast, you had the lead in all.
I had the lead in out of town points.
Yep.
I had the lead in event wins.
Yep.
And I had first place in the tour.
Yep.
And now here we are, 4 weeks later.
Yeah, about a month later.
A month later. And you've taken them all, and you've won them all. Congrats. I'm not going to say I'm bitter, because you played well, and I played like shit. Congrats on taking it all, because you won it.
I would say, I think I earned it rather than being giving it.
I agree. You earned it, because you played well down the stretch. I had a wicked start to the season, where I jumped out in front of everything, but I think that was a big mental part of it in my mental approach to the game was I was already there, and I couldn't really lock it in.
Yep.
And
well, that's always. I mean, we've talked about it before. Your biggest, maybe my biggest strength for me is you make a bad shot. It's just kind of like, whatever. We go hit another ball, right?
Yeah.
And it takes that kind of mentality to kind of if you can just get in that mindset, and it's like, I got to take a drop. I lost the ball. Okay, let's try and make a 5 out of it or a 4 or whatever, right? You don't let it build, because once it starts building in your mind, then it becomes a problem.
And my problems in my game started to surface after I had those really 2 good rounds where I was in the single-digit pluses.
Yep.
And then I was like, I should be able to do this regularly.
Yep.
And then after a few rounds after that, and I was still in double digits, and I saw my score starting to creep up. Right? Plus 15, plus 18, plus 22, plus 25. The frustration really set in.
Yeah, well, because you expect more of yourself.
Yeah, and I did it once. I should be able to do it again.
Yes.
But golf's not like that.
No.
Golf is a fucking humbling sport for anyone. And boy, did it humble me in the last month.
Well, I mean...
Today, I'm going to take today as a real good confidence builder.
Absolutely.
My first 2 holes, my mind was, we were doing all kinds of weird stuff on the tee boxes to start. We were trying to get some some photos and stuff that we could use for some pictures throughout. So my mind really wasn't on when I teed off on 17, and I really shanked my tee shot. I pulled a Dave and just shanked that thing left off the tee box, and I double bogeyed that one. And I don't think I was as frustrated as when I hit number 18, and I put my tee shot into the bushes, and I knew I was going to have to take a drop. Then the frustration built. But once I cleared that hole and I teed off on number 1, I put my tee shot out there really good, just out to the right, just off the fairway. Second shot was on, 2-putt for a par. Got off that hole, like, okay, Alvin. Right? And from then on, I think only one hole out of the next 16, I maxed the par 3 with a 6. Everything else was bogey or par.
Well, what did you finish today? 83?
83.
So, I mean, you take 5 strokes away from the first 2 holes, and you're 78.
So yesterday I shot a 91.
Yes.
I lost 6 balls yesterday.
And you had a birdie even in that round.
And I had a birdie. But I lost 6 balls yesterday. I usually only carry 6 balls in the bag.
Yep, that's right.
From yesterday to today, shooting an 83, getting back in that area of a score in 83, that's where I should be.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm way more I'm way happier about that 83 today than I have been with a couple of the good scores I've had before this case of the yips.
I think my mindset is, my mindset has become, I see myself put up really good scores, and I've been starting to stretch into the 70s pretty consistently.
You bet.
And I mean, I still have the odd bad day, and it's like, at the end of the day when I look at my scorecard, I'm like, I'm bogey golf. Yeah. I'm like, no matter how I get there, I always end up back there somehow.
Yeah, right. And that's where I am. That's where I should be, and that's where I should be playing. And like shooting an 83 today, which is a plus
17.
Yep. That's exactly where I should be.
Yeah, that's fine if you don't have it for a day, right? I mean, you're at bogey golf. I mean, we really shouldn't expect anything more when we're not playing well.
Right. And so today was a good confidence booster going into next week. I also put I got a new 3-wood.
Yep.
TaylorMade R9.
Nice.
I put that in the bag. Took it out to the range. Hit a small bucket of balls with that. Hit some. It's adjustable.
Yep.
So I went through the whole gambit of
settings.
3 off the deck, 3 off a tee, in all 3 positions: left, neutral, right.
Yep.
I left it in the neutral position. I hit that off the tee a lot today. When my driver wasn't really doing it for me, when I hit number 1.
Yep.
So I hit 3-wood off number 1. I hit 3-wood, I hit driver off number 2. And then for the rest of the front, which is 5, 6, 8.
Yep.
I hit my 3-wood.
Yeah.
I love that. Again, a 3-wood that you can just hit straight and know you can get about 200 yards out of is dynamite. You know that.
Uh-huh.
You know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get a little bit more than 200 out of mine, but yeah, that changed it. I mean, when I started doing that early in the season, a lot of my struggles was because I would never put my driver in the bag, and no matter what, I was determined to make it work. And I mean, it almost got into my game where it's like, you can hit it. Like, I don't understand why you can't hit it, right? But a lot of the holes, I was putting myself into places where I either had to take drops or I just wasn't in spots to hit it.
Putting yourself out of position.
Right? And then I think it was you that had suggested, Josh suggested it, because he only recently started hitting driver. He didn't even have a driver in his bag until we gave him one of the ones I had, because he wouldn't hit it. So then I started going to 3-wood off the tee because it's more controllable. Yes, sometimes I'll pull it, sometimes I'll fade it, but for the most part,
you're not putting yourself out of position because no matter where you are on the course that we play, like Cottonwood,
yep,
your approach shot, you have an iron or a hybrid in the bag to get you there.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if you're 75 yards off the tee.
Yep.
You could still get there in 2.
That's right.
Right?
Yep. And I mean, I feel like that's. And part of it, the last month and a half, I was really comfortable with my gap wedge when I got my Mizuno irons, and that's still one of my favorite clubs. Like, from 100 yards out, that's almost automatic for me. And then I started incorporating my 56 and my 60. I don't hit my 52 as much, but I started learning to hit my wedges from distance and getting a hold of them and getting a proper swing. And all of a sudden, it was like a whole new area of my game opened up, where it's like, yeah, you put it out on the fairway or just off into the rough, and you hit those wedge shots and you get on in 2. Well, guess what? You're a good enough putter that most times you're either going to 2-putt, or, you might 1-putt, you might 3-putt occasionally, but at worst, you're going to walk away with a bogey and on to the next hole typically, right?
And that keeps us in the bogey numbers.
Exactly.
Right? So if we get a par, we get a bogey, we happen to get a birdie, we're going to get a double somewhere down the line to keep us in that bogey territory, right?
Yep.
So, focus on getting bogey golf.
For me, I was a little disappointed that your game kind of left you, because I'm a competitive guy, and I mean, you and I are very competitive in this when we started this, and I mean, it was kind of awesome that it came down to the two of us. I mean, you didn't miss an event of the 20. Nope. You played 20 of 20. I mean, which just shows everybody how hot I was coming down the stretch, because I only played 19. I missed the whole entire event, and I still beat you by 500 points.
And I think in that event that you missed, I think I finished first, didn't I?
Dave won.
Dave won, right? That was his first win of the season, correct?
I do believe you finished second.
Yes.
That was when I was in Kananaskis. But I was hoping that you would, that down the stretch we'd go head-to-head, mono-a-mono.
Yes,
I mean, for it.
But I mean, I think I tied for second today.
You did, yes.
That's the highest finish I've had since our last podcast.
Yeah, there was some pretty ugly rounds in there.
Yeah, like finishing fourth, fifth.
Yep. Yeah, you...
down there.
I mean, you didn't do yourself any favors on the out of town on the Purple Sombrero, which is the out of town points.
And Cyprus was our last
correct
event to win.
And you were up 50 points going into that.
Yeah, and I shot 103.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't shoot great. I shot 94. My back was really bothering me that day, and I mean, I could barely get off the freaking tee box on the back.
I think there's a picture on our Instagram page of you with your pants down, putting a patch on. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think somebody put that on there.
Yeah, jackass. But I mean, once I knew going into that event, I just had to beat you, and I had to Purple Sombrero, right? And I mean, you did say on the podcast that you'd probably fold like a cheap suit, which is exactly what happened.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we play, right? You played well. You kept your composure down the stretch. You played well. You earned it.
Yeah,
right. And I played like shit, and I lost it.
And I mean, at the end of the day...
That's why we played this the entire year.
Yep. And I mean...
to get here, right?
At the end of the day, our season standings through our tour events are for bragging rights, and going into the tour championship, the advantage is that having finished first, I now get 6 mulligans to spread over the 2 days.
2 days, yeah.
To use or not to use. If I don't use them, then they're non-existent. And now, because you finished second, you get 4.
Mm-hmm.
Clark finished third, so he gets 2.
That's cool.
So,
Clark tied for first once this season.
Yes, right? He had I do believe he had a tie for first, but never a win.
Never a straight out win.
Yeah. And then Dave finished 4th, and I want to say Chris was 5th, Josh was 6th.
Well, Darren was in there too.
And Darren was 7th, because Darren didn't play enough events to get up the board.
Clark finished 3rd. Big Dave finished 4th. Chris McKeon finished 5th. Josh finished 6th. Darren with 9 events, 3 wins, finished 7th.
Yep.
And then it came Isaac, Chris, B, Trey, Jacob, and Sean, who, again, Jacob and Sean only played 1 event all year.
Yep. And I mean, it's kind of crazy. I get 6 mulligans, you get 4, Clark gets 2. Everybody else on that plays gets 1.
Gets 1.
And you can use them at any time.
Any shot.
Any shot on there, but you have to make sure it's recorded on your scorecard that it was used. And if you don't use them, you lose them.
Yep.
And
if you don't need them, then you just played well enough not to need them.
Well, that's it, right? That's kind of the hope. I mean, my hope is that my game continues playing the way it's going now, and I mean, I'm going to use them on, say, maybe if I have an eagle opportunity, or that's a close one or something, or a birdie putt that you should make, a shot that you really fuck up, or an OB shot that you shouldn't have to do it. But I'm excited. I mean, I know we got 9 guys for sure for the tournament. Maybe we might scrounge up another 1 or 2. But my dad and Jake are coming into town on Friday. They're pretty excited. to play in the tournament. I'm super excited. Like it's gonna be.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be all about consistency. We're gonna go random draws on random
Saturday.
drawing groups on Saturdays,
From
playing
the
off the
Blacks.
Blacks,
Yep.
and then Sundays we'll do the standard tournament format where those guys in contention are going out last.
Yep.
Together in the group with
Together in
with
the
the
group.
pressure there.
You bet.
And it's just gonna be so much fun.
It seems like it just like with the snap of a finger, it was here. So
Yeah, and I mean, I've been toying with some balls lately too. I mean, I've won events with Bridgestone, I've won events with my True Feels, I've won events with my Vice balls. Lately, I've just been getting on the recycled Pro V1s, and I mean, I don't know what it is. I don't even know if it's the ball or just the way I'm playing.
Yeah,
but
I think it's the way you're playing.
But it just right now it's just feels really good. And actually, I'll be adding another club to my bag this week. I'm taking out my 4 hybrid from my Maverick 4 hybrid, and my Mizuno Fly High 4 hybrid will be here on Wednesday. So in time for tournament.
Nice.
So I'm gonna have to get that to the range either Friday night or might have to get a quick little 9 or 18 in on Friday. Maybe get away from work a little early if I can. And then get a practice round in.
I've got another club coming too, so I've got a Wilson 4 hybrid in my bag.
Yeah.
And I'm replacing it with a Wilson D7
Nice.
4 hybrid.
Yeah.
So that should be here this week.
Yes, because you ordered that, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I don't know if it'll be here in time for the tournament.
Yeah, I ordered.
Because really, my 4 hybrid, I hit it off one hole, and that's number 3. Because with it's a short par 4, but with the water, as the year progressed, I started finessing a driver out there.
Yep.
Then I went to my 3-wood finessing it out there. Then my 5-wood finessing it out there. Then I got to the hybrid, and the hybrid's been pretty much my stay club on that hole to get me out there.
I don't know about you, but I feel like I've added like 10 to 15 to 20 yards on a lot of my clubs from the beginning of the year till now. Like,
look at I mean I'm not a long hitter.
Nope.
But my drives are starting to get 250, 260.
Yeah, incredibly accurate.
And it's except for the last month.
Yeah.
We'll leave the yip month out of it and talk about so there's a 267 yard par 4. That's number
8.
Number 8.
Yep.
And I've drove that green twice this year. I've overdriven it twice, and I'm usually green high just to the right most of the time.
Yep.
So that's out there in the 260 range.
Yep.
Consistently, and even with my 5-wood. I mean, I like that club. It's my favorite club in the bag. My 3-wood is really getting up there and being my favorite club in the bag too. I use my 3-wood on number 6 to dogleg right today.
Yes.
And the last 2 days I've been able to clear it.
Just leave it on the platform.
Leave it up on the platform on the fairway.
Nice.
Ball comes off that club just amazing.
My favorite.
I was missing that in my bag because my old 3-wood was a TaylorMade burner.
Yes, an older version.
An older version, and it was actually shorter than my 5-wood. I could hit it well, but I did not get that type of distance out of it. It was not a distance between my driver and my 5-wood. There was a gap.
Yep.
Because I could hit my 3-wood as far as I could hit my 5-wood. So now I have a 3-wood in there that gives me that extra.
Yes.
That extra yardage that I need if I don't want to go driver.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. For me.
On number 10.
Yes.
So I hit my 3-wood off number 10 today, and it put me right out in the fairway.
100 yards out?
Right.
Yeah.
I was about 110 out.
Yeah, but in the right spot.
In the right spot, so it was a gap wedge in, and I actually hit my gap wedge on, and again, 2-putt for a par on number 10, right? So
there you go.
As the round went on,
your
I
game
started
got better.
shaping my shots a little better, putting myself in a little better area to approach the green. My 60-degree wedge is really starting. My wedges were off for the last little while because, again, my mind wasn't really focused on my golf.
Yep.
But my 60-degree wedge today, it got me everywhere I needed to be around the green. Whether it was just a flop or, a bump and run with it.
Yep.
It got me everywhere I needed to get today, and so that made me really happy.
Nice. Yeah, my favorite club in my bag has been, like I said, I went to the 3-wood this year. I've been hitting that quite consistent. Like on 1, I'll typically hit that. 2, I'll hit that, and then 6, 8, and then the par 5, and then every other par 4, I hit my 5 hybrid now.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting 200 plus out of it, and I mean, typically it'll keep me in a safer area but it'll also give me that 100-yard shot that I want.
Yes.
Because now I'm at the point where I want a certain distance because that's the club I want in my hand.
Yeah.
So I'm picking my club based upon that to give me the shot I want.
Yeah. So when we started in the beginning of the year, we were trying to get as many yards as we could get out of every club.
Yep.
And now we're using our clubs to get us to where we know we have an accurate second shot.
Right, and a comfortable one.
In a comfortable range with a comfortable club.
Yeah.
That you can use and usually get there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been using my practice rounds to do different things. Like, I mean, I've been hitting my 6-iron off some tee boxes. I mean, I drove.
I was going to say I was just going to mention.
Drove the fifth green.
Fifth green. So the fifth, I use a 5-wood off the fifth. Today I used 3-wood and almost drove the green today.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the yardage on that one from the blues.
It's like 240. I want to say 240-ish. Yeah, it's wild because I used my 6-iron the other day.
And you rolled it right up on the green.
Yeah, I bounced it up there and had a chance at 240. Eagle. Yeah.
240 with a 6-iron.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, that's kind of ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
We're not quite there.
I mean, that was not my intention when I got up there with that club.
And you didn't even scull it. Like, you didn't even thin it.
No, I just hit it pure.
You hit it pure.
Yeah.
And so there it was. And it was straight, accurate.
Yep.
And
yeah, my intention was to just lay it out there because I knew with a 6, I was like, I can be inside 100 yards and just kind of give myself a wedge on. And I just happened to catch it just perfect. And it got a really good hop and bounced up there. And I mean, funny enough, it was in front of the cart girl because she was just hanging out there. I did happen to miss my eagle putt though. But I mean, I made my birdie, so whatever.
So I've had a chance at 4 eagles this year. I've converted 2 of them.
Yep.
I chipped in for 1 and my one on number 8 that I drove the green and made the putt. So that again I've never had one in my life, and I've had 4 opportunities at them this year.
I think I've had 5 or 6, counting our entire golf season, that I've had a look at eagle, and I've only been able to make 2. I think I've made 2 eagles and like 2 birdies, and then the other ones were pars, depending on where you leave yourself. Or actually, no, one was a bogey on the par 5 because that was yesterday. Right. I was on it too. I had an eagle look, but I didn't putt well. I took a 4 putt for a bogey. So
I actually put my earlier this week. I actually put my mallet putter back in the bag.
Yes, that's right. You came out for a round with that because your flat stick was kind of missing.
But again, all of it was missing, and I was just trying to add or subtract different things. So I put my mallet putter in, and that it actually wasn't too bad. Because again, I'm comfortable with it. I've used it for 10 years.
Yeah, it was made directly for you, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, but I went back to the blade, and the blade really helped today. I mean, my old Tommy Armour model Silver Scott model 708. It helped me a lot today. I made a few putts over 10 feet today, so that was cool. But I am considering something else in the Scotty Cameron style.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, when the season's done, if you want, I'll let you take my Scotty Cameron for a grip for a round.
Yeah.
Because I put a Super Stroke grip on it. Mm-hmm. I changed out the grip this year.
Now, is it a 2.0 or a 3.0?
I do believe it's a 2.0 grip.
That's the thinner one, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a 2.0 grip. So I took off the grip that's been on there forever, and I re-gripped it. And then all I was doing was I was moving my 50-gram weight out of my Super Stroke grip on my mallet to that one. And then I ran with the Scotty for a few days, and it just different feel. My line seemed a little crisper for a little while.
I found when I switched my putter out, I actually focused a little more on the putting.
Yes,
because it's different. You have to, right?
Yep.
So and I think doing that and then going back to my blade
really re-engaged.
Really re-engaged in the putting. So that again, those type of things, just something to re-engage you with thinking about the game instead of almost being a robot and going through. This is what I use on this hole. This is what I use from where I'm from this distance, and I just don't deviate from. And I think it just all got in my head that it was going to happen. So if I'm 110 yards out, I take my gap wedge, I'm there, and it started to fall apart.
Yeah, right? But I mean, you also have to remember. I mean, the pros do it every week, and 4 rounds a week when their season's going, and I mean, they have crappy rounds all the time. I mean, sometimes you just don't have it. I mean, you can shoot a 67 one day, and the next day you shoot a 75.
Yep.
It's just the way it goes.
Well, I shot a 91 yesterday and shot an 83 today. So, I mean, that's just what we do, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just a volatile. I mean, it's a volatile sport that sometimes you make good shots and you don't get rewarded. Sometimes you make bad shots and you get lucky.
Yeah.
And it's just you just have to take the bad with the good.
And I have made it in the last month. That was part of my mental lapse. Was I wasn't getting rewarded for making good shots, and then I made just an absolute terrible shot. So then I wasn't getting rewarded for a good one, and I was putting myself just out of commission with a poor shot after that. But
yeah.
Today was a big confidence booster. I think I'm gonna go play 9 on Tuesday with Marie. I'm going to try and get out for at least one more Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, and build on that confidence. And I think I'm in a good mind frame going into the weekend.
Well, I think I'm out this week because I've started coaching a high school volleyball team. So my after work golfing is kind of non-existent except for Fridays now. But I want you to have your best game. I want Josh to have his best game. I want Chris to bring his best game. I want Darren to have his best game.
Yes, I want to go out and have some fun this weekend.
I want everybody to bring the best golf they can bring and let the best person win.
So we're getting our second batch of shirts finished this week.
Yep.
We should be getting them latest by midweek. We did a pre-buy this time.
Yeah, the pre-buy we've been talking about on here. I mean, you guys could see. And by the way, guys, I mean, we talk on here all the time. If you guys are ever looking for pictures or standings or anything like that, hit us up on our social media at Mulligans and Hackers Golf on Instagram, Mulligans and Hackers Golf on Facebook. And again, download and subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you might get your podcasts. Yeah, we did our pre-buy. It wasn't too bad. What did we get, like 20 shirts?
Something like that. Right around that area, yeah. So we're getting the jacket logoed.
Yeah, or our jacket for your tournament winner.
We're gonna have to work something out with the patch for the purple sombrero.
Yep, and I mean,
and our trophy should be ready this week.
Awesome, because on Sunday we'll have a little award ceremony once everything's done.
So I'm hoping, even if it's not me, I'm hoping somebody else wins the tournament other than you, because I will not be able to spend the winter looking at a picture of you with the purple sombrero,
wearing them all and holding everything all at once.
So we have a trophy for the most victories for the season.
Yep.
So the purple sombrero, that one, the jacket, and the season championship. Looking at that all winter, I might need therapy, because I think I might even delete everything that we've got. I might not even follow Mulligans and Hackers if that's the case until we get going next season. But
I mean, we were kind of talking about it the other day, right? We were talking about our keeping stats moving forward for our career stats in Mulligans and Hackers.
We're going to be posting some stuff over the week.
Yeah.
Some fun stuff on our social media just to show people who we are, because again, there's not a lot of pictures of our crew out there, but we're going to post some fun stuff this week with some stats on it for us. So
kind of highlighting everybody that's been our regular crew and stuff like that, right? But I was laughing about it because I played 19 events and we were talking about top threes. All but one event I placed in the top 3.
Yeah,
it's
again,
crazy.
All that time, that's just getting you into the position that you are now in first, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, no, that would be pretty heartbreaking if you had to look at a picture of that.
It would be. I might have. Yeah, I would probably unfollow Mulligans and Hackers for the entire winter. I probably would, because again, we are competitive, and
not at all.
Even though we're good friends and we talk a lot about other sports and other topics, this has been a lot of fun this year so far.
Oh, absolute blast. I mean, I'm so glad we you had the idea to do this and we got together and kind of sorted it out. The podcast thing has been fun. I mean, the season's been fun. I mean, obviously, we'll iron out some tweaks and make some changes moving into next year.
Because we want to play more tournaments next year.
Yes, we want to play more tournaments.
They just had a big draft tournament in Calgary this weekend.
I was just going to say, the draft golf, the first time ever in Alberta.
Yeah, and they're coming back next year because I've already talked to them.
Nice.
And we're going to be there. We're going to have as many guys there as we can get next year.
Yeah, I mean, it's what is it? It's $450 a person. You get a shirt. A hat. Well, you get drafted to a team, and then you get to, like, this weekend they played at Heritage Golf Course and Bears Paw, which are two crazy high end courses in and around Calgary. And you play there Saturday and you play there Sunday in like a Ryder Cup style kind of format, which is sick.
They've been posting all weekend pictures.
I actually have a buddy who's playing in it. From here,
and so we're definitely going to be there at that next year.
100%.
We're gonna do the Rolling Hills again because that's one of my favorites, and I love being out there. So we'll do the Rolling Hills. I mean, Cyprus had a tournament out there.
You said this weekend, I think,
on yesterday.
Okay.
So like to go out on a Saturday and do that.
Yeah.
And again,
Bow Island. I got it when we were out there last Monday. I got our name put on because there's a wait list for the men's scramble, so it might be a short notice kind of thing next year. But we can leave that day kind of open, and then if we get a phone call, then we can go out and play.
Yep.
Because I'd like to play in the scramble tournament out there.
And we're gonna try and pay attention to, like, I mean, we haven't been out around the Brooks area or Bazzano.
Yep.
Right, there's courses out there. Do they have tournaments?
Yep. Yeah, we'll dig a little bit more, right? I mean, get into the Cottonwood Classic down there. Yeah. It's almost like a 30-year ongoing tournament.
Yep, we missed that.
Two-day scramble tournament.
We missed that this year, and there was a couple guys that had hole-in-ones.
Yeah,
$10,000.
Yeah, one guy won. So there was two hole-in-ones. It was hilarious. One guy won $10,000. And then one guy got a hole-in-one on 18, which was not a money hole, and he won $50. That's gotta burn. Both their first ever hole-in-ones too.
That's crazy.
That sucks, but I mean, I was talking to Darren yesterday because Darren joined Josh, and he actually joined your round too. But his tour round that counted was yesterday morning with Josh and I. And we were talking about that. I'm like, wouldn't it be crazy if coming into our tournament, if somebody gets a hole-in-one?
Yeah.
I was like, wouldn't it just be insane?
I mean, I've seen crazier things. I've already got a hole-in-one in my career.
Yep.
A par 3, 120-yard, 9-iron.
Yep.
So I have that. It was a long time ago when I wasn't really a golfer.
Yep.
You get that fluky shot.
Yep.
Right? So
I mean, there's got to be some luck when it comes to a hole-in-one, but I mean, just in a tournament format, it would just be absolutely crazy. I mean, I'm hoping we have some fantastic rounds. It's going to be different because there's I think maybe just one guy who's never played the course, so it'll be a different look for him.
Yep.
There's a couple guys that have only played it a few times. Playing off the blacks, there's some guys that have never played off the blacks, which is going to really, really be. It doesn't change a whole lot of holes, but there's about 4 that it really changes the look of.
Yep.
And a couple for the better actually, and then it gives you a better look.
I agree.
And then a couple that actually make it quite a bit longer on a couple of the par 3s. But it's just going to be a different animal. And when we've been playing in the tour events all season, and early on. I mean, for me, it's, you want to win, and you almost have to learn to, like, I've played sports my entire life, and I know how to quell my nerves when it comes to certain sports because I've played them forever. But when you're playing in a competitive event like that for golf, it's kind of like, it's an individual thing, and you got to understand that you're going to make bad shots, and you can't just let it snowball.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing to have to work through as the season goes along, right? And I mean, a 2-day event is all about consistency. You're either going to have to put up either two really, really good rounds together, or if you put up a bad round, you're going to have to come back and smoke in a crazy good round the next day.
Yeah. And if you put in a good round on day 1, then you really want to try and just maintain and don't blow up day 2.
Yeah.
Right. Just maintain.
Yep.
Play your bogey golf, right? And see what happens.
And I mean, the craziest part is nobody will know what's happening on day 1 until the day's over.
Yep.
But day 2, everybody's going to know where they stand going in. They're going to know exactly how many strokes they're back of the leaders. They're going to know what that pressure comes with. We don't know what the weather's going to be like. I mean, it's September here in Medicine Hat. I mean, it could be rainy. It could be beautiful. I mean, you might get rain on one day and sunshine on the next day. Yep. You just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited.
I mean, we got a couple guys on our tour that just don't like playing in rain.
Well, I'm one of them. I don't like playing in poor weather.
And part of me yesterday when I was talking to you about coming or getting in there and playing was like, I mean, dude, next weekend we got to play regardless. So you got to try and power through and learn to play in it.
Yeah,
I mean, and you did, to your credit.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not always going to get perfect conditions. And that's the thing. I mean, you know, I'm insane. I'll golf in anything.
Yeah, I've seen you golf in anything.
And I mean, Josh and I have golfed in some pretty wild temperatures this year.
But in weather, like wind and...
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, my mindset is I should be able to learn how to play regardless of the way that the weather is and understand how that type of weather is going to affect my game. I might not put up my best score, but I should be able to get myself around the course in a decent manner, depending upon how the weather is, right? And if you play it enough times, like we've played it in enough rain, that it's like, okay, it's just rain. I mean, it's going to slow the greens down. It's going to do, you know, the ground's going to be soggy. You can't take as big divots and different things like that. But you learn how to play in it. And for me, there's just so many variables going into the weekend, next weekend, that it's just going to be awesome. I'm so excited.
I'm pumped. And I'm pumped. I'm kind of, you know, the reality is that our season will be over after next weekend. That's a bummer.
Our official season,
official season, you know, that'll be a bummer. But again, we've, you know, like Clark and Dave, how many rounds we got those guys out for this year?
Well, Clark has played in all but one. He played 19, the same as me. Dave played in 16, 16 or 17. So, I mean, he was out for the vast majority of them too, right?
I really enjoyed that because I enjoy golfing with those guys too.
And we got a good group of guys, right?
You bet. We're going to try and grow it a little bit next year.
Yep.
And get some more.
Try and get 6 to 8 that are there all the time, right?
You know, we had like around 6 this year. It'd be nice to get around 8 next year, that we have the 2 groups consistently.
Yep.
And if we have to add that 3rd group, so be it. Looking forward to that next year. But yeah, next weekend's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm mentally ready for it. My game started to come around today, so I think that's ready. And I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. My game.
I think we're going to do a podcast after that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because I think we're going to do a podcast after that. Maybe we'll do another one, and that'll be it for season 1 then. And I think the next time we do a podcast will be season 2.
Yeah, probably, unless something comes up over the winter that we want to talk about, depending on what's happening.
So next podcast we'll talk about our season and tournament.
Yep.
But I think we would really, I would really like to do some shout outs to brands and companies and people that we've had a lot of interaction with this
Absolutely.
year.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a half a dozen to 10 that I've had regular contact with.
Yep.
You know, the Glorified Donkey guys, 36 a day, Put That Podcast on the Screws podcast. We'll just go down through a list. We'll add that after.
Yep.
On the next podcast, just to throw their names out there.
Yeah, and I think we were also thinking that the weekend after our tournament, we'd get in a little skins game between the boys, whoever's around and wanted to play.
Whoever wants to come out, and we'll do some skins.
Get that going. I was thinking about it today about a couple different things we could do next year for our season. I mean, you know, we could add a couple where we're having tour dates, or where we have a weekend where we can have tour dates both days.
Saturday,
where we're not
cumulative
playing.
Tournament.
Yeah, have a cumulative tournament for double the points. So winner gets 2,000, second gets 1,800. Gives the guys opportunities to really catch up, right?
You catch up, yeah. Or take a greater lead.
I mean, I wouldn't mind a tournament almost in the match play form. Like a one event somewhere along the way that we turn it into a match play type event, which would be interesting.
It would be. Yeah, we have so much that we can.
There's so many ideas that we can do with, right?
So I think we did 20 events this year. That was quite a bit.
Yes.
So we might be.
We might dial it back a bit,
but it's not. We're not going to golf any less because on the dial back, we're going to be doing more tournaments. We're going to be looking for more tournaments.
Yes, absolutely. Right? We plan on golfing as much as we can. I mean, my goal is always to hit 100. I mean, I'm going to get there this year and then some, which I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah. I mean, I've played more golf this year than I think I have in my entire life combined.
That's awesome.
So,
and I mean, I played 85 rounds last year.
So here's another question. I think I've asked you this. How many different courses did you visit this year?
This year, I have visited. Let me just pull up my list here.
Because I was thinking about it, and I haven't traveled a lot except for mostly our tournament events, but I mean, add Tabor on top of it, and
I have played 13 different courses this year.
Wow, that's wild.
I've played, so in no particular order, I've played Cottonwood, our home course. I've played Paradise Valley. I've played Bow Island. I've played Rolling Hills. I've played RGCA in Calgary. I've played Speargrass. I've played Burstall. I've played Desert Bloom here in Medicine Hat. I've played Medicine Hat Golf and Country Club. I've played Tabor, Silvertip out in Canmore, Kananaskis, and Cypress Hills.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite a list. Last year I actually played 15 different courses. Wow. So I played more different courses last year, but I only played 84 rounds. Right now, I'm up to 98 and a half rounds with our 2 rounds coming up for our tournament. So, I mean, I'll be at 105 just from that, or 100 and a half just from that.
I think over the winter, we're going to talk about, with some of the people that we've been in contact with, we're going to try and develop some brand sponsorships.
Yeah, see what's out there, see what we can do. I mean, again, this is our inaugural season. We've tried a bunch of different things, and I mean, honestly, for me, it's turned out better than I had hoped. To be honest,
I agreed. I mean, I didn't think I kind of had an idea that it would be fun, and I was really happy with a lot of the guys' commitment.
Yeah,
some of the guys weren't as committed that I thought were going to be, but that's fine. That's okay.
We've got to remember it's in the summer, right? Some guys go and do their thing,
and with work and life in general.
Yeah.
But having at least 6 to 8 guys that were regularly in there, that was a lot. That was cool.
Yeah, it's been a blast, and I mean, like you say, all the interaction we've had on our social media.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it be on Instagram at Mulligans and Hackers Golf, or on our Facebook Mulligans and Hackers Golf, or on our podcasts on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. All the interactions we've had with the different brands, the different people, our friends and our family and everybody else that has gotten involved and supported us in different ways. It's been awesome.
It's been a lot of fun. We haven't talked about any pro golf, and I think we might want to avoid that for maybe a later podcast.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk about the FedEx Cup and how, because this really is my second year watching the FedEx Cup. Last year I didn't really understand it.
Yeah.
Watched it this year. I think I asked the Glorified Donkey guys to what they would do differently. So I think on their next podcast, they're going to answer that question.
All I'm going to say is the best golfer did not win.
Yeah, exactly. right. And so I think there needs to be a conversation about the FedEx Cup.
Well, I mean, we got the Ryder Cup coming up, so we can add that to the next podcast.
The ladies just had their LPGA, had the Solheim Cup.
Yep.
Europe beat USA on that one. I watched a little bit of that. Man, those ladies can golf.
Yeah. Man, they can golf. That's for sure.
Wow.
And I mean, the Ryder Cup's going to be absolutely wild. It always is. Mm-hmm. It's going to be crazy. When's that? 2 weekends from now?
Yeah. So, and just quick throw it out there. Golfer of the year. Who is it?
Oh, it's Jon Rahm.
It's got to be, right?
No question, man. He's the best golfer in the world. I mean, okay, so if you break it down, I mean, the guy had more top tens than anybody no, it wasn't even close. He won the U.S. Open. He performed well in all the majors. He showed well. He should have won the Memorial had it not been for him having to withdraw due to COVID, which really also impacted the FedEx Cup standings and essentially impacted that whole race. It has to be Jon Rahm.
Yeah,
he's been the most consistent and played the best golf.
I don't want to get into it, but FedEx Cup playoffs. Like I don't get it. Just play whatever.
I mean, if we had to name a player of the year for our tour, how would we do it?
Would it be the guy that finishes first?
I don't think you necessarily has to be the guy who finishes first.
Right.
I think you have to look at things like you have to look at top 3 finishes in the number of starts, because everybody started different amounts, right? Yeah. How many wins your win percentage, different things like that. Because, I mean, you're not, unless everybody plays the exact same amount of events, it's not fair to do it that way.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I didn't understand the FedEx Cup playoffs. Like, you do points all year to get to a certain point. Then that doesn't mean anything once you get into the playoffs, and then the playoffs decides who's going to get. So
the way it works is,
I didn't want to get into this deeply this podcast because, I don't want to run over like an hour doing this crazy stuff. But.
No, so basically, in brief, your season. So every event you win, you get a certain number of FedEx Cup points. So then you accumulate them, but then your playoff tournaments are worth more. They're worth like 4 times the amount. So therefore, there's 3 playoff tournaments, and it cuts it down from 120 to 50
to 30. So you have to get into the 120 to get into the FedEx Cup. Then the playoffs breaks it down.
Correct. And then the wildest thing is that the final event you start, like the FedEx Cup leader starts at 10 under. Because,
but again, you know what? I don't even mind that as much as the playoffs change the entire bracket.
It does.
Why wouldn't you just go and do your points like us right up to the end of the season?
Yeah.
And the guy who finishes first, the people who are in the 120 are in the 120.
Yeah.
You come in at 120, dude, you're not getting an advantage here. But if you went all season and you were in first place or you got first place, you get the advantage. Yeah. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, I mean we can dwell into that on a separate podcast about that. But yeah, it's it's been an interesting year there. I mean we've had so much fun. Honestly, I've been watching very little golf because, like I say, over the last few weeks, I mean, I've been keeping my eye on it, but I've been playing 36 a day because, I've been feeling good. My back's been good. My swing's been feeling good. I've been going out there and using my practice rounds to really try and drill in how I want to approach shots, mentally preparing for this coming weekend for the tournament. I mean, it's been my goal, and I mean, I'll tell you, I've told you straight out, I'm playing to win. I am playing to win this tournament, and I mean,
well, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't playing to win either.
And I mean, today, I mean, after yesterday, I had a 350-point lead on you going into today. I mean, you still had an outside chance if I had a bad day. And I mean, nobody would blame me if I came in today and said, "Oh, it's basically locked up." I mean, you just play a mediocre game. But I did the opposite. I just said, no, I'm just going to step on the throat here and just go, boom, you're done.
Yeah, and that's fine. I feel good about the way my day ended.
I'm happy that your game came around today. I really am.
So going into next week, I do have some confidence, and I think I'll get a little bit of golf in this week and still work on some things. I'd like to work on my driver a little bit, but I think my shots are in the bag again, and I can't wait to come after that trophy.
Yeah, I'm excited. And whoever wins, it won't be because someone gave it to them. It'll be because they were the best person over those 2 days.
Over those 2 days, yep. And I mean, we're adding Black Saturday, Blue Sunday. Like we're throwing everything at everybody at the same time.
Yeah, everybody's got the same circumstances to deal with.
The only advantages is the season-long mulligans that you get.
Right, that's earned.
But that's earned.
Yep.
Right? So you'll get 2 more mulligans than I get.
Yep.
But you earned them.
That's right.
Over those 2 days, there's going to be so many different things thrown at all the golfers out there, right? And it's going to be wild. I mean,
we're going to prep probably by Wednesday. Wednesday, I'm hoping we'll have commitment for the tournament. I mean, the tee times are booked. Once we have the committed numbers, I would say Wednesday is the end day. I'll random generate some groups. We'll put them in. We'll post them up. Post up who's playing in what groups. Yep. Who's starting on what tee? You go down the list and say, "All right, boys, here we go. This is the starting grid, and have at her." This is going to be a blast. It was such a great idea to do this. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I think it enhanced our golfing experience this summer.
It made it something worth playing for, except other than just
going out and playing rounds. And I think this is something that other people, no matter where you are, can do. No matter if you have you and one buddy, 2 dudes, or if you have 4, 6, 10 buddies, you can go do this too.
Yeah.
Go and do your own league. So that over the summer when you guys get together, a group of 2, group of 4, group of 6 that you golf with regularly, do your own thing, man.
Yeah.
Over the summer, it adds a little bit. It makes wanting to go out golfing with, because again, like we added all these different guys, like some guys you don't normally hang out with, some guys I don't normally hang out with, and we all go out and do this. We traveled out of town together.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy,
it's absolutely
right?
wild. Like, going to Rolling Hills, going to Cyprus, going to Burstall together.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely crazy that guys other than you and me committed to doing that, right? It's just wild. Blew my mind.
Yeah, and it's just been, it couldn't have really worked out any better. Again, a lot of guys that you or I might not normally hang out with, we got to hang out on the golf course. Because at the end of the day, golf is a great equalizer. Everybody does it in a different way. But we're all trying to do the same thing, and it's whose way is going to work that day, right?
It's just wild. So
it's so fun. But I think other than that, I think we're done.
I think we're good. Yeah,
I think we're just excited to have our tour championship coming up in a week's time here, and once we're done, pop another podcast probably Sunday night or Monday next week. Once our excitement's kind of over and we've had our award ceremony,
probably
look for
probably Monday. We'll do it Monday.
Look for some photos. Look for some information this week for some fun stuff leading into the tournament. Look on the weekend. We'll be posting stuff as much as we can, and of course we'll have we'll have the standings after the first day on Saturday. Going into Sunday, we'll post the groups and where everybody's at. And then come Sunday afternoon, once everybody's done, we'll have pictures of the winners and the awards for the season and get them up there.
Yep.
And we're just looking to have a good time. But other than that, our season's kind of winding down, and golf season's kind of winding down. But we hope everybody gets out and plays as much golf as you can while it's still nice outside.
Yeah. And again, congrats, buddy, on finishing first. You earned it.
I appreciate it.
I'm not going to be a dick about it, but you earned it. And
it makes me feel better that I actually, that I played well and deserved it, right? Like I didn't want. I knew your game was kind of down this past month, so I knew I wouldn't realistically. If you continue to play like that, I wouldn't have to do much. But I wanted to make sure that there was no doubt that I earned the spot.
I want you,
I did that.
And same thing as going into the weekend. I want the person that wins it to earn it.
Yep.
Not just everybody else play like crap and one guy win it.
And I think with enough guys in there, and everybody can have a great day at any given time. Who's going to have 2 good days?
Yeah,
or who's going to have 2 great days?
Or have a great day and have a mediocre day.
Right? It's just the possibilities are endless. But you guys have a great evening. We're gonna chill by the fire for a little bit. You guys have a great evening. Get as many rounds as you can in. May your mulligans be plenty and your hacks be findable. And we'll catch you on the flip side.
Take care, everyone.
Later.